The strange encounter, the night sky above the alien planet was quiet, filled with 1,000 unknown stars. Captain Ryan walked slowly across the gray sand, his boots pressing into the dust of a world no human had stepped on before. The ruins of a strange city stretched out before him, tall broken towers leaning like tired giants. He felt a chill run down his back, not from the cold, but from the silence. It was the kind of silence that made a man feel like he was being watched. Ryan's radio cracked for a moment, but no one answered. He was alone, far from his ship, far from his crew. He told himself this was only a survey mission, a quick scan for life signs and nothing more. But deep inside, he knew something waited. In the shadows, something old, something patient, something that had been here long before him. He turned a corner into a half-collapsed hall. The walls were covered in strange glowing symbols, alive with a dim green light. He raised his scanner, but the device only gave a low hum, unable to read the strange energy. Ryan frowned, then whispered to himself, "What are you hiding here?" Then he heard it, a voice, soft as a breath, echoing through the broken chamber. "Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time." Ryan froze, his heart pounding like a drum inside his chest. He swung his flashlight around the ruins, but nothing moved. Nothing was there. He shouted, his voice bouncing off the stone walls. No answer, only the sound of his own breathing inside the helmet. He took a cautious step forward, gripping the scanner tighter. The voice came again, this time clearer, closer. "Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time." Ryan's throat went dry. It wasn't the words that scared him, but the way the voice spoke. It was not angry, not hostile. It was pleading, desperate, almost broken, and it spoke in perfect English. He swallowed hard, scanning the chamber. His light finally caught a figure deep in the shadows. It was tall, thin, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver. Its eyes glowed faintly, watching him without blinking. Ryan felt a chill crawl up his spine. The alien tilted its head and whispered again, "You came back. I knew you would." Ryan took a step back, his instinct screaming danger, but his curiosity kept him rooted in place. "How do you know me?" he asked, his voice steady but sharp. The alien moved closer, its steps soundless on the stone floor. "I remember your kind," it said softly. "The way you love, the way you give, the way you endure." Ryan's grip on his scanner tightened. This was not possible. This planet had been empty for centuries. No human had ever been here before. Yet the alien spoke as if it had met humans long ago. It even knew the word love. That single word made Ryan's chest heavy with unease. The alien's form flickered, like it was struggling to hold its shape. Ryan noticed how weak it looked, as if the weight of time was crushing it. "Do it again, human," the alien whispered, voice trembling. "Make me remember. Love me harder, one more time." Ryan shook his head slowly. "What do you want from me?" he demanded. The alien stepped closer, the glow of its eyes brightening. "I want what only humans can give," it said. "I want the fire in your heart." Its words were soft, but they carried a dangerous edge. Ryan knew then this was not just a voice in the ruins. This was something ancient, something powerful. And it wanted more than just words. The ruins around them began to hum. The green lights on the walls pulsed like a heartbeat. Ryan could feel the ground vibrating under his boots. He realized the alien was connected to this place. The ruins were not just dead stone. They were alive with its energy. And now the alien was waking them up. Ryan steadied his breathing. He knew he should leave, call for backup, get out while he still could. But something inside him refused to run. Something in the alien's broken whisper held him there. He whispered back, almost against his own will, "What are you?" The alien tilted its head again, its glowing eyes filled with sadness. "I am what you made me," it said softly. Then it stretched out a thin, silver hand toward him. The ruins shook harder, dust falling from the cracked ceiling. The air grew thick, heavy, as if the world itself held its breath. Ryan stood frozen, his heart racing. He knew that one step closer could change everything. This was no ordinary encounter, no simple first contact. This was the beginning of something far bigger, something that could save or destroy not only him, but all of humanity. And in that heavy silence, the alien whispered one last time, "Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time." Asterisk the voice in the dark. The ruins grew colder as Captain Ryan stepped deeper into the shadows. The strange green lights on the walls dimmed with every step he took, until it felt like the darkness itself was alive. His flashlight flickered, the beam cutting through dust and broken stone. The alien figure was gone, vanished into the silence, leaving behind only the echo of its whisper. Ryan's pulse hammered in his ears. He wanted to call for help, but his radio gave nothing but static. He was completely alone, cut off from his crew, cut off from Earth. Yet the voice still lingered in his head, like a memory that wasn't his. "Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time." He pressed his gloved hand against the wall. The surface felt warm, almost like skin, not stone. A low hum spread through his palm, and for a brief moment, he thought he could hear a heartbeat. He pulled away quickly, shaking his head, whispering to himself, "This isn't real. It can't be real." Then the voice returned, louder this time, filling the chamber around him. "You are late," it said, the tone sharp, but still carrying that strange longing. Ryan spun in place, light flashing across shattered pillars and fallen statues. "Show yourself," he barked, his voice bouncing off the ruins. But instead of footsteps, he heard laughter, soft, broken, almost human. The voice came again, from everywhere and nowhere. "I waited for you, Ryan. I remembered you when the stars forgot me." Ryan froze, his chest tightening. How did it know his name? No signal, no file, no alien tech should know who he was. This was personal, too personal. It felt like the ruins themselves were speaking to him. He took another step, and the ground beneath his boots cracked open. Thin streams of light poured out, winding like veins across the floor. The glow spread into the walls, the ceiling. And suddenly the ruins weren't ruins anymore. They were alive, shifting, transforming. The broken city began to rebuild itself before his eyes. Stone rising, dust swirling, towers lifting, as if time itself was running backwards. Ryan stumbled back, raising his scanner, but the device went dead in his hand. A powerful voice cut through the chamber. "Do you remember me, human?" The words echoed like thunder, but carried a strange ache. Ryan's throat went dry, but he forced out an answer. "I've never met you before." Silence followed, long and heavy. Then the alien appeared again, stepping out from the light. It no longer looked weak, no longer flickering. Its body now burned with silver fire, and its eyes glowed like twin suns. It stood tall, majestic, yet broken at the same time. When it spoke again, its voice carried both power and sorrow. Then, "It was not you. It was another." Ryan's mind raced. Another human? Impossible. No record of humans ever reaching this planet existed. But the alien spoke with certainty, as if it had touched human life before him, as if it still carried the memory in its heart. He tried to steady his breathing, but the air was thick, heavy with the alien's presence. "What do you want from me?" he demanded, voice sharp. The alien's glow dimmed, and it tilted its head. "I want the fire you hold inside. The thing that makes you human." Its voice trembled, almost breaking. "Without it, I am nothing. I am only shadow." Ryan gritted his teeth. Every instinct told him this was dangerous. This creature wasn't asking, it was begging, craving something deeper than energy or food. It wanted emotion, memory, connection, and that made it more dangerous than any weapon. The ruins pulsed again, light racing across the walls like veins of a living creature. Ryan could hear whispers now, not just one voice, but many. Thousands of voices overlapping, crying, laughing, all in human tongues, all in languages long forgotten. He staggered, pressing his hands to his helmet. "What are you?" He shouted. The voices roared, then fell silent. The aliens. Glowing figure leaned close, its whisper softer than breath. I am the echo of every human who ever loved. And every human who was lost. Ryan's heart pounded so hard it hurt. If what it said was true, then humanity had been here before, long ago. And this alien was carrying their memories, their voices, their longing. He shook his head in disbelief. This is impossible. Humans were never here. The alien stepped closer, raising its hand. Its silver fingers almost touched his visor, but stopped an inch away. Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time, it whispered. This time the words were not just sound. They were inside his chest, inside his thoughts. Ryan staggered back, gasping. He could feel something pulling at him, trying to drag his emotions out. The alien's eyes burned brighter, its whisper turning into a plea. Show me your heart. Give me what you give to no one else. Ryan clenched his fists, fighting against the pull. He knew if he gave in, he might lose himself. But the alien's longing was so powerful, so desperate, it almost broke him. He whispered under his breath. Trembling, what kind of monster are you? The alien's glow flickered again, dimming, trembling like a flame in the wind. It lowered its hand and stepped back into the shadows. I am no monster, it said softly, voice full of sorrow. I am what you. The alien's secret Captain Ryan stood in the silent ruins, his breath echoing inside his helmet. The alien had vanished again, leaving him with only dust. Shadows and questions, his heart still pounded, his chest tight with the weight of what he had just heard. I am what you humans left behind, the voice had said. But what did that mean? No human had ever been here, or so history claimed. Ryan adjusted his scanner, trying to force a reading from the stone walls. The screen flickered. With static, then strange shapes began to appear. Not energy, not radiation, but something that looked like faces, dozens of human faces glowing faintly on the screen. Men, women, even children, staring back at him from across time. He shut the scanner off quickly, his hands trembling. This place is playing tricks on me, he muttered, but his voice shook. Then, the alien returned, stepping out from the darkness. It no longer looked silver and glowing. Now it appeared almost human tall, fragile, with pale skin and dark eyes. Its form shifted like smoke. Never staying the same, Ryan raised his weapon, but the alien only lowered its head. You do not need that, it whispered, voice soft, heavy with sadness. If I wished to harm you, human, I would have done it long ago. Ryan hesitated, finger hovering over the trigger. Tell me the truth, he demanded. Why do you know me? Why do you speak of humans? How do you know that word love? The alien's eyes flickered, and for a moment it looked almost ashamed, then it lifted. Its gaze, and what it said made Ryan's blood run cold. Because once I was human too. Ryan froze, his mind rejecting the words. That's impossible, he snapped. The alien stepped closer, its body flickering between alien light and human shadow. Long ago, your people came here, it whispered. They built, they lived, they loved. And when death came, I did not let go. Ryan shook his head. No record, no mission, no history speaks of this. The alien tilted its head, its expression unreadable. History forgets, but the ruins remember, it said. I was the last of them, a human soul bound to a dying world. I refused to fade, so I became something else. The city fed me, the stones carried me, and I lived on. But without love, I am hollow. Ryan felt a shiver crawl up his spine. The alien wasn't just a creature, it was a fusion, a memory that had become flesh, a soul twisted into survival. Trapped between human and alien, its whisper grew softer, almost breaking. I watched the stars turn without me. I heard silence for centuries, and then I heard you, Ryan. Your voice carried through the void. The city remembered your blood, your kind, and so I woke again. Ryan's mouth went dry. It knew his name, not because it spied on him, not because of data, but because his DNA, his Human essence was the same as those who had come before. It remembered humanity in him. The thought made his chest tighten with fear and awe. He tried to speak, but the alien's voice grew stronger. Do you understand now, human? I am not only an alien, I am the ghost of your people. I am what remains when love refuses to die. Ryan lowered his weapon slowly. Something inside him told him the alien spoke truth. But truth was not the same as safety, if it was born from humans. Then it carried human desire, human hunger, and hunger could be dangerous. The alien stepped closer. Its form shimmered again, and this time Ryan saw flashes. A woman laughing, a child's hand reaching, a man embracing someone under a sky of two suns, memories of people long dead, but they flickered through the alien as if they were its own skin. It whispered, "They live in me still, every kiss, every tear, every promise. I kept them here. Do it again, human. Give me one more memory, one more touch, one more love, so I may never fade." Ryan's breath caught. He could feel its pull. Again, like invisible hands tugging at his chest, it wanted his emotions, his memories, his heart. Not to destroy him, but to fill itself, to keep the fire alive. Ryan's fists clenched. "You're asking me to give up what makes me human," he said. The alien's eyes glowed faintly. "No," it whispered. "I am asking you to share what makes you human. Without it, I am nothing. With it, I am everything. But I will not take without your choice." Ryan's pulse hammered in his chest. He realized now the danger was not in the alien's power. The danger was in his own weakness, because part of him wanted to say yes. Part of him wanted to give it what it asked for, not out of duty, but out of pity. Out of the strange connection he felt in its broken voice. The ruins trembled softly, as if the city itself was listening, waiting for his choice. Ryan's thoughts raced. Was this creature truly a ghost of humanity, or just a parasite dressed in memory? If he gave in, what would become of him? What would become of all humans if it learned to grow stronger from their love? The alien stepped back into the light, lowering its gaze. "You do not have to decide now," it said quietly. "But remember this, Ryan. I am not only asking, I am warning. If I fade, so do they. Every human who came before, every voice, every soul, lost forever." Ryan stood frozen. The weight of the secret pressed down on him like gravity. This was no simple mission. This was a test, a burden, and maybe even a curse. And as the silence stretched across the ruins, the alien's whisper returned, softer than ever. "Do it again, human. Love me harder one more time." The test of humanity. The ruins did not stay still. As Captain Ryan stood in silence, the ground beneath his boots shifted like sand turning to water. The walls of the chamber stretched taller, the ceiling dissolved. And suddenly he was no longer inside stone. He was standing in a field. A green field under the blue sky of Earth. Ryan's breath caught in his throat. This was impossible. The grass swayed in the wind, carrying the smell of summer. Birds sang in the distance. It looked real. It smelled real. But Ryan knew it wasn't. He was still on the alien world. This was the test. The alien's voice floated through the air, soft and haunting. "Show me why you are different, human. Show me why your kind survives when others fade." Ryan turned in circles, scanning the field. Then he saw a figure walking toward him. It was his brother, Michael. A brother who had died years ago in an accident. Back on Earth, Ryan's chest tightened. His knees almost gave way. Michael smiled at him, just as he remembered. "Ryan, you came back." Ryan shook his head, his voice trembling. "You're not real," he whispered. But the figure kept smiling, warm, alive, full of love. "Maybe not," Michael said, "but the love you feel is real." Then he reached out. His hand. Ryan froze, his heart tearing between logic and longing. This was the alien's test. It was dragging his grief to the surface. But the pain felt sharp and true. The voice returned, echoing across the field. "Will you give in to illusion, human, or will you hold on to truth?" Ryan closed his eyes, fighting the ache in his chest. He wanted to take Michael's hand, He wanted to hear his voice again, to believe, even if it was a lie, but he forced himself to step back. "No," Ryan whispered, his voice breaking. "You are not my brother, you are only a shadow." The figure of Michael faded. The field melted into dust. Ryan fell to his knees, breathing hard. The alien's voice returned, softer now. "Good. You did not give yourself to the lie, but your pain. It is strong." The ruins rebuilt themselves around him. Pillars rose. Walls glowed faintly again. But the test was not over. This time, the air shimmered, and Ryan found himself standing in his childhood home. The smell of fresh bread, the sound of laughter. He heard his mother's voice calling his name. "Ryan, come sit. Dinner is ready." He turned. And there she was, his mother, alive, smiling warmly. Her arms open, ready to hug him. Ryan's eyes burned with tears. This was harder than before. He wanted to run to her, but deep down, he knew this was another trap, another illusion. The alien whispered from the shadows of the room, "Love. It gives you strength, but it also binds you. Would you give your heart to the past, or will you carry it forward?" Ryan clenched his fists. He looked at his mother, knowing she was only a memory. His voice cracked as he whispered, "You're not real, but I'll keep you with me, always. Not here. Not like this, but inside me." The illusion shattered. The home vanished, leaving Ryan alone in the ruins once again. His chest ached with grief, but also with clarity. The alien stepped forward, its eyes glowing faintly. "You endure, even when it hurts. This is why you are different." Ryan glared at it, his voice low. "You think these tricks will break me? You're wrong." The alien tilted its head, its form flickering between human and light. "They are not tricks. Human. They are your own heart. I only showed you what already lives inside, and still you resist." The ruins trembled again, but this time the light was warm. Golden. Ryan stood tall, refusing to be bent. He understood now. The test was not about strength of body. It was about strength of spirit. Humanity's greatest weapon was not power, not speed, not technology. It was the ability to feel pain, carry it, and keep moving forward. The alien whispered again, but now its voice carried awe. "You suffer, and yet you rise. You break, and yet you stand. No other race does this. No other carries love as a burden and as a gift. This is your fire." Ryan stared at the alien. Its form wavered as if his defiance hurt it, but also fed. "You're feeding on me, aren't you?" he said sharply. The alien paused, then lowered its gaze. "Yes, but not as you think. I do not feed on your pain. I survive on your refusal to let go, on your choice to carry love even when it hurts." Ryan's stomach tightened. It was true. The more he resisted, the stronger the alien seemed to become. But it wasn't draining him, it was reflecting him. It was a mirror of humanity, twisted and broken. But still holding a spark, Ryan steadied himself. "If this is your test, then you have your answer," he said. "Humans don't give up. We love harder because we suffer harder. That's what makes us different." The alien's glowing eyes softened, almost like tears. "Then perhaps you can save me," it whispered. "But remember, human, every choice carries a price." The chamber fell silent, the illusions gone. Ryan stood alone once more, but he knew the alien was still watching, still waiting for him to decide. And in the echo of the ruins, the voice returned, fragile yet unyielding. "Do it again, human. Love me harder one more time." The hidden danger. The ruins had fallen silent again. But Captain Ryan could still feel the weight of unseen eyes on his back. Every corner, every shadow seemed alive, waiting. The tests had ended, yet something darker pressed against the air. Ryan steadied his breath and forced his scanner to power up again. This time, the screen flickered with symbols lines twisting like veins. He realized they were not random. They were maps. The ruins were not a city. They were a machine, a massive ancient network stretching under the ground, and at its center, something still alive. Before Ryan could react, The alien appeared again. Its form was faint, trembling like smoke in the wind, but its voice was stronger than before. You feel it now, don't you, human? The heart of the city still beats. Ryan gritted his teeth. What is it? What are you hiding here? The alien tilted its head, eyes glowing faintly. Not hiding, human. Protecting. Because if it wakes, everything you know will change. The chamber pulsed with light. The green veins on the walls throbbed like blood through arteries. Ryan's scanner shrieked with energy readings far beyond normal levels. This was no ruin, no simple remnant of the past. This was a prison, and something inside was stirring. Ryan's instincts screamed danger. He raised his weapon, pointing it at the pod. Alien, tell me the truth now, he demanded. What's under us? The alien's expression flickered with pain. Long ago, my kind was not like me. They were hunters of souls, parasites that drained love, joy, and memory from every being they touched. Humans came here, and for the first time my people tasted something stronger. Your kind did not just feel love, you built it, carried it, turned it into fire, and my people could not resist. Ryan's heart sank. The alien's voice grew heavier, each word like a confession. They fed until your kind fell, every human who lived here, every child, every lover, all drained until nothing was left. Their bodies turned to dust, their souls locked inside this machine, and I was the last one. I refused to kill them, so I took them inside me. I became their echo, their voice. But the others, they still sleep below. Ryan's breath caught. Beneath his feet lay not just ruins, but an entire hive of alien predators. Trapped, waiting, kept asleep by the machine. And now his presence might be waking them. He took a step back, his voice sharp. Why bring me here? Why call me? The alien lowered its head, its voice breaking. Because the machine is dying, its power fades, and when it fails, they will rise again. They will spread beyond this world, and Earth will be their first feast. Ryan's blood ran cold. He saw it clearly now. The whispers, the illusions, the longing. They were not only a cry for love, they were a warning, and maybe a trap. He leveled his weapon. Then why not let you die with them? Why should I trust you? The alien's glow flickered like a dying flame. Because I am not them. I am human as much as alien. I chose to protect your kind, not consume it. But alone, I cannot hold them forever. With you, I can. Ryan's chest tightened. Every instinct told him this was madness. If he helped, he risked unleashing something unstoppable. But if he walked away, Earth could face horrors it was not ready for. The ruins began to shake, dust falling from the ceiling. From deep below came a sound that made Ryan's skin crawl. Not a whisper, not a plea, but a chorus of hungry voices rising together. Thousands of alien whispers crying out at once. Human, human, human. Ryan's stomach twisted. The sound was not longing like the voice he had heard before. This was hunger, raw and endless. The hidden danger was no longer a secret. It was waking. The alien's eyes locked onto his, glowing brighter, desperate. Do you see now? I need you, not for me, but to stop them. If you walk away, they will break free. If you stay, we may have a chance. Ryan's hands shook as he gripped his weapon. He had come here searching for answers. Now he held the weight of humanity in his choice. Trust the alien who carried human voices, or risk releasing the swarm that once consumed his kind. The ground roared again, cracks opening beneath his boots. Green light shot upward like fire. The voices below screamed louder. Do it again, human. Love us harder, one more time. But this time, the words were not from the alien he knew. They were from the ones below, the hungry ones. And their love was not longing, it was hunger sharpened into teeth. Ryan's heart pounded. The hidden danger was no longer hidden, and the true test of humanity was only beginning. The choice. The ground shook beneath Captain Ryan's boots. Dust rained from the ceiling as cracks split the floor wide open. From below came a sound that was not just a noise. It was hunger made into a voice, thousands of whispers rising together. Calling his name, Ryan staggered back, aiming his weapon at the growing fissure. But deep down, he knew bullets meant nothing here. If the swarm below awakened, no weapon in his hands would matter. Only his choice would decide what came next. The alien stood before him, its body flickering between light and shadow, its silver eyes burned with desperation. "Ryan, you must choose," it whispered. "If you give me your heart, your fire, I can strengthen the prison, I can keep them asleep. But without you, the machine will fail, and they will rise." Ryan's pulse hammered in his ears. "You're asking me to give you my humanity," he snapped. The alien shook its head slowly. "No, I am asking you to share it, to let me feel as you feel, to carry your strength with mine. I cannot do this alone." The ruins groaned like a living creature. The green veins in the walls pulsed brighter. Ryan could see shapes moving in the cracks below. Claws scraping stone, jaws gnashing. The swarm was waking. Every second he hesitated brought them closer. To the surface, his throat was dry, but he forced the words out. "If I give myself to you, what happens to me?" The alien's gaze softened. "You will not die, but you will change. Part of you will remain human. Part of you will become like me, bound to this place, bound to the voices." Ryan's stomach twisted. He saw the truth in its eyes. This was not just a sacrifice, it was a transformation. If he agreed, he would never return home. He would never see Earth again. He would become part of the ruins, part of the prison, part of the echo. He clenched his fists, his mind racing. The thought of saving Earth burned inside him, but so did the thought of losing himself forever. The alien stepped closer, its whisper trembling. "I will not force you, human. But if you walk away, your people will face what you cannot imagine. The swarm does not love, they only consume, and Earth will be their first feast." The chamber shook again. The fissure widened, green light blazing upward. Ryan could hear the swarm more clearly now. Their whispers were sharp, hungry, cruel. "Human. Human. Feed us. Do it again. Love us harder." One more time. But their love was not longing. It was hunger sharpened like a knife. Ryan's chest tightened. He knew he could not let them rise. But could he pay the price the alien demanded? Memories flooded his mind. The laughter of his crew, the voices of his family, the weight of every human who would live or die by his choice. For a moment, Ryan closed his eyes, and in the silence of his heart, he asked himself the hardest question: what does it mean to be human? When he opened his eyes, the alien was still there, hand outstretched, its voice cracked with sorrow. "I cannot hold them much longer, Ryan Choose." Ryan's jaw tightened, his voice steady. "I will not give you my whole heart, but I will give you enough." The alien tilted its head, uncertain. "Enough?" "Yes," Ryan said firmly. "You don't need all of me to fight them. You only need what makes me human: choice, will, and sacrifice. The rest is mine. I won't lose myself, not to you, not to them." The alien's eyes glowed brighter, almost like tears of light. "You would risk being torn apart, half in shadow, half in fire." Ryan lifted his weapon and aimed it at the crack below. "I'm already torn apart," he said quietly. "That's what being human is. We love, we lose, we break, and we keep going. That's why we're different." The fissure roared, green flames spilling upward. Shapes began to claw their way out. The swarm was seconds from breaking free. Ryan took a deep breath, then placed his hand into the alien's. The moment their hands touched, light exploded through the chamber. The walls pulsed with golden fire. The ruins screamed with voices. Ryan felt something tear inside him. Half of his heart pulled into the alien, half still his own. The swarm shrieked in rage, clawing against the prison walls. But the light forced them back, sealing the cracks shut. The machine roared alive again, chains of light binding the sleepers below. Ryan staggered, his vision blurred. The alien caught him, its form now brighter, stronger. "You did it, human." It whispered, "You gave me enough." But Ryan's body shook. He felt different, changed. Part of him burned with human fire, but another part whispered with alien voices. He had not lost himself, but he was no longer only himself. The alien looked at him with sorrow and wonder. You are both now human. And Echo, you carry the fire, but you also carry the chains. Ryan's chest ached. He had made his choice. Not full surrender, not full rebellion, but something new, something dangerous, something only a human could endure. And as silence fell over the ruins once again, the alien's voice lingered, soft as breath. Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time. Asterisk. The HFY moment. The chamber was quiet again. The cracks had sealed, the swarm forced back into their prison. The ruins no longer trembled, but the silence carried a heavy weight. Captain Ryan stood in the center, his hands still pressed to the alien's. His chest burned. His veins throbbed with fire and shadow. He was not the same as before. Ryan staggered, his knees almost giving way. He felt human, but something whispered inside him that was not his own. Echoes, fragments, voices of the past, not hungry like the swarm, not cruel, but heavy, endless, a burden of memory. He had carried part of the prison into himself. The alien watched him with glowing eyes. Its form stronger now, whole again. You gave me what I needed, it whispered. You stopped them. For now, Ryan's voice was hoarse. For now isn't enough. The alien tilted its head, sorrow in its gaze. The machine will hold for centuries with your fire inside it. But one day, it will fail again, unless humans remember this place. Ryan clenched his fists. Then I'll make sure they do. He took a step, but his legs buckled. The alien caught him, steadying him gently. You cannot return home, it said softly. You are no longer only human. Your people would not understand. And the swarm would sense you. They would follow. Ryan's throat tightened. The thought of never seeing Earth again hit him harder than the battle. The laughter of his crew, the blue sky of his home. All gone. He had saved them, but he could never return. The alien lowered its gaze. You chose sacrifice, Ryan. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you strong. Ryan breathed heavily, his voice sharp. No. That's what makes us human. We bleed, we lose, but we still choose, even when it hurts. The alien studied him quietly, then it whispered, almost reverent, HFY. Humanity forever unique. The walls around them pulsed faintly, voices whispered through the stone, not the hungry cries of the swarm, but softer ones, human voices, memories carried inside the echo. Ryan realized then he was not alone. Every human who had died here still lived inside him now. He was their prison, their guardian, and their witness. His chest ached, but his voice grew firm. If they ever wake again, I'll be here. If they rise, I'll hold them. Because that's what we do, we endure. The alien stepped back, its form shimmering with light. You are more than human now, it whispered. Yet it is your humanity that saved us both, that saved your world. Ryan looked down at his hands. They glowed faintly with golden cracks, half human flesh, half shimmering light, a reminder of what he had given and what he had become. He would never be the same, but maybe. He didn't need to be. Above the ruins groaned, and the night sky opened. The stars shone brighter than ever. Ryan lifted his gaze, whispering to himself, this isn't the end, it's the beginning. And when they come again, we'll be ready. The alien's voice followed, soft, lingering like a vow. Do it again, human. Love me harder, one more time. And for the first time, Ryan did not hear it as a plea. He heard it as a promise, a reminder that love, choice, and sacrifice were stronger than hunger, that humanity's fire would always endure, even at the edge of the universe. Ryan stood tall, scarred, changed, burdened, but unbroken, because he was human. And humans did not fade. They loved harder, one more time and one more time after that. Forever.